Well, right now, vaccination organizers are working overtime to get more shots into arms, even promising gift cards at some sites. But how do you convince people who say they've decided not to get vaccinated? Tonight, Local 24 News reporter Jenny DiPrizio talks to a young Memphian who hopes her story will change your mind.
I heard of these new variants, but I just didn't think about it.
Candace Gross quickly learned not only did she have COVID-19, she caught the UK variant, considered more contagious and more deadly.
It was extremely scary. It's the scariest thing I ever had to deal with.
From high fevers to asthma attacks, Gross spent 18 days in the hospital fighting the virus.
When I got to the hospital, there was a nurse who came to me and said, "You were too young to be on the ventilator. We're going to try to do everything we can to prevent you from being on the ventilator, but that means you really have to fight through this."
Gross says she's considered a long hauler, which means she still suffers the after effects from the virus.
I have days where I wake up and I have a burst of energy, and then I have days where I literally need 3 naps. And the frustrating part about it is that I can't control it.
The 37-year-old has now taken to social media encouraging others, especially people of color, to get vaccinated.
Given the historical trauma that African Americans have been through when it comes to vaccinations and shots and DNA, I've just been on the fence.
Gross says she doesn't want anyone to have to go through what she just did.
Even though the vaccination is not a cure for COVID, it'll at least prevent me from being in that position, or anybody from being in that position that I was in the hospital.
Gross hopes hearing stories like hers will help change people's minds.
I think for the African American community, we don't need to be sold on the vaccine. We need to be educated on it. And so I think it's the education piece and also telling that personal story, I think, is what's going to bring people to the point of saying, okay, I'm going to do this.
Jenny DiPrizio, Local 24 News.